Welcome to Open the Book. And this morning we are thinking about beginnings and one rather important beginning. So I've got some actions for you to do as we go through the story. Now when you hear the word sky, put your hand over your eyes and look at the sky. When you hear the word earth, your chance to stamp on the ground. When you hear the word day, yawn and stretch up for the day. When you hear the word night, we want to go to sleep. When you hear the word stars, let's see your twinkling stars. When you hear the word flying things, we're going to act like birds, creatures with wings. When you hear splashing things, we're going to act like creatures of the sea, dolphins, whales, fish. When you hear the word walking things, well, that could be lions or horses or dogs. When you hear the word crawling things, you can pretend to crawl on the floor. And when you hear running, hopping and climbing, you're going to do all three. So, let's begin. At first, there wasn't anything at all. Nothing. So God set to work. But he didn't use his hands or a special machine. He spoke, that's all. He said,
"I'd like some light."
And there was light, brighter than the summer morning or 1,000 Christmas candles. God spoke again. He said,
"Sky. I'd like some sky. And some water underneath."
And sure enough, there it was. The bright blue sky with the dark blue heavens above it and the blue-green sea below.
Earth.
Yes, damn it. That's what God said next, hard and firm, as if he really meant it. And the blue-green waters parted and there was dry land underneath. Great patches of it, dirt, black and brown, here and there, all over the world.
"We need some colour."
God whispered as if he were thinking out loud and quivering with excitement. Green growing things crept right up out of the dark earth, then burst into blossom, red, orange and blue. Pine trees and palm trees, rose bushes and blackberry bushes, tulips and chrysanthemums. God shouted next,
"Day, shining sun. Night, shining moon. Bright, shining stars."
And there they were, for morning and evening, summer and winter, time and heat and light. After that, God called to the sky, as if he were expecting some kind of an answer.
"Come forth, flying things."
And through the clouds they came, flying high and flying low, flying large and flying small, eagles and insects, hummingbirds and hawks. Then God called to the sea.
"Come forth, splashing things."
And they came to him too, leaping right up through the waves. Sailfish and swordfish, dolphins and trout, great grinning humpback whales. Finally, God called to the earth.
"Come forth, walking things, crawling things, running, hopping, climbing things.
And sure enough they came, up from the burrows, down from trees, out of the high grass and across the open plains. Now everything was ready, good and ready. So God spoke again.
Man and woman.
That's what he said, as if he were calling the names of his very best friends. And out of the dust came Adam and Eve, to enjoy all that God had made, to take care of it for him, and to talk with him.
This is the way things ought to be.
God said at last.
This is what I call good.
What a fantastic story. And we are going to make our own story as we begin this year at school. And let's just take a moment to think about the beautiful story of creation and the things that we love around us. It's a pretty amazing story. And I want you to close your eyes for a moment and think about something beautiful that you have seen. It might be the sea, somewhere you went on holiday. What about a colourful butterfly? A shining conker? Or a bright tropical fish? Now I'm going to say a prayer, and if you want to make it your own, say Amen at the end. Dear God, thank you for all the beautiful things you have made. Please help us to enjoy them and look after them. And thank you for beginnings in stories. Help our beginning this year to be an amazing one too. Amen.
Amen.
And we say together the prayer that Jesus taught his special followers. Our Father in heaven, holy be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen.
And so it's time for our action song. And just before, there were a couple of things that really struck me in the story, and I wanted to remind us all of, because it says, doesn't it, that when man and woman had been created, they were there to enjoy the world around them, to take care of the world, and to talk to God and to one another. And those are some really good things for us to remember as we begin this new school term. Let's really look to enjoy the place and the activities that we've got in store. Let's also look after the place that we have and each other. And let's be really good at listening to our teachers, to our friends, and know that we can chat to God every day, all the time and any place. Well, I think our song to begin has to be one that captures how great and big God is with that beginning story, but also how he holds us in his hands. Let's do the actions to Our God is a Great Big God.
Our Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. He's higher than a skyscraper. He's deeper than a submarine. He's wider than the universe and beyond my wildest dreams. And He's known me and He's loved me since before the world began. How wonderful to be a part of God's amazing plan. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. He's higher than a skyscraper. He's deeper than a submarine. He's wider than the universe and beyond my wildest dreams. And He's known me and He's loved me since before the world began. How wonderful to be a part of God's amazing plan. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. He holds us in His hands. He holds us in His hands. And He holds us in His hands.